Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this Tuesday afternoon briefing. I hope you had a great weekend, and thanks to all of you who watched the Memorial Day ceremony yesterday. Today we're going to go over testing numbers, but we're going to really talk about the governor's executive order that go into effect today, 1487 and 1488, as well as our new executive order. We'll talk about mask and sanitizer and our regular act of courage. Today's numbers, these are system-wide numbers for Forest General, Merritt Health Wesley, Hattiesburg Clinic, and Semri. To date, since the middle of March, we've seen 11,767 tests be conducted for COVID. 1,292 have come back positive. Just over 10,000 have come back negative. We currently have 471 tests pending. In our hospitalizations, we have 38 people between Merritt Health Wesley and Forest General who are in the hospital who are COVID positive right now. That's slightly under the 14-day average. We have 5 people who are showing symptoms, but their tests have not yet come back. ICU utilizations, that's down to 15. That's slightly under the 14-day average over the last few days. What we've seen here is kind of a consistent track. For a while, we were staying between the 35 and 41. We did go up to 44 late last week, but that number has since come down. Same thing with ICU admissions. About a week ago, we had peaked at right under 25, but that number has dropped as well. Today, Forest County added 17 cases to go to 503. Lamar County added 2 to go to 222. That brings a total for the metro area at 725. Now, those are not all active cases. However, those are total since this began. When we look at kind of where the trends are headed, we look at a couple of things. The first is the 5-day average. That takes the number of new positive cases on a given day. It averages those with the 2 days prior and the 2 days after that. And so what we saw weekend before last, and then kind of you saw this big increase where Forest County had a couple of days where it was really high in number of new cases, and then it kind of came down, especially after Tuesday's data reconciliation, where they cases that were assigned to Forest County were inadvertently should have been going to Lamar County. Those things were fixed, and so you're really starting to see kind of those things settle out to where they have been in many cases, which is Forest County is around 10 new cases per day. Lamar County is just right now a little bit over 2, and so that's how we're trending right now. Deaths, we had 2 additional deaths in Forest County today. We had 1 yesterday. Lamar County had a new death yesterday, which brings the total death toll for COVID to 37 in Forest County and 5 in Lamar County. Since May 1st, 27 people have died in Forest County from COVID-related illness. 9 have died in the last week. So instead of the recovery number that, and we've mentioned this before, the CDC definition of recover is very hard to meet. It means after a person is sick, they have to come back and take 2 additional tests and test negative both times. And that's really not something people who want to go through the invasive test again after they've been sick with COVID. And so what Hattiesburg Clinic does is they look at the number of cases that are testing positive inside the past 14 days versus outside 14 days. And so the number of people who have tested positive in the last 14 days in our area in Forest County is 169, which, once factoring in the 37 deaths, means the number outside of that 14-day period is 294. And typically that disease has about a 14-day lifespan. So that 294 represents a very imperfect but an estimate on the number of people who have survived or recovered from COVID. In Lamar County, that number is 73 inside of 14 days and 151 outside of 14 days. This is a new thing that we've charted out for you today. This gives the 14-day average on a particular day. It takes a snapshot of where the 14-day average was at one particular time, which means this is the number of potentially active cases in a community because it represents how many in the past 14 days. And so what you saw on May 18th, that number reached 200 in Forest County. That means there were 200 potentially sick people from COVID in Forest County. Lamar County kind of peaked later in the week last week, and so the good news is that number's come down, and so right now in Forest County that number sits at 169. Again, that's the average over the last 14 days, which means that's a reasonable estimate on how many active cases are out there. And then Lamar County, you're at 73, and so if there's any good bit of news to give you, it's that number came down from 200, and we'll see kind of where it goes in the future. Because our overall goals, first of all, protecting vulnerable populations, preventing the overrun of the healthcare system by slowing the spread, and then as we reopen, prioritizing public health while giving the private sector the space to operate creatively. Four factors guide our reopening: the widespread availability of testing. That's why we added the C.E. Roy Community Center free testing site that's open Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 4. The wearing of masks, watching our own data like the slide that we just showed you. And then again, listening to all voices at the table, business, healthcare, and otherwise. Today is the first day under the Governor's Executive Order 1487 and 1488. It extends most of the elements of his Safer at Home order until June 1st. However, there's a couple of exceptions. He opens outdoor recreation and amusement, playgrounds, water parks. In our case, the zoo can open when it chooses to at 50% capacity. It also opens school practices and weight rooms and training facilities. So if you look at the totality of the Safer at Home order, we get a lot of questions like, can this be open, or is this supposed to be operating, or what are the guidelines for us? This is a pretty good graphic, and we're going to put this on our website at hattiesburgms.com/coronavirus. This goes through individual sectors that have been affected through some kind of order over the past 2.5 months. And so healthcare, elective health procedures, retail, whether it's essential or non-essential, barbershops and salons, outdoor recreation, restaurants, all the things that are open right now. It then also tells you what's still closed by governor's order. So all entertainment venues and forms of indoor amusement and recreation, visiting loved ones at the nursing home or the hospital, gatherings of over 10 indoors or 20 outdoors, bars that do not serve food, all of those things are closed by order of the governor. Today is the first day also under my new executive order, which is 2020-9. It updates all of the previous orders to where we're at right now. And so today is the first day the mall can be open. The food court is to go. Masks must be worn when you're in the mall. The customer occupancy limit in all the individual stores is the same as other non-essential retail. Entertainment venues like the movie theater are still closed. Some other things in this order is we are opening up massage therapy facilities. With some pretty stringent guidelines that were set by the CDC and the Department of Health and the Board of Massage Therapy. It expands some capacity at barbershops and salons. It also relaxes the mask requirement at gyms. So if you're at the gym, we ask you to wear a mask when you go in and you come out. If you're working out in groups, somebody spotting someone else, please put a mask on. But in terms of just running on a treadmill or working out by yourself, you no longer have to wear a mask for that. The other thing it does is it extends the retail mask order for all retail until June 15th. It also extends those capacity limits that all of our stores are operating under until June 15th as well. And so this is our strategy. We know that people are starting to get out, that are starting to interact with one another, potentially come into contact with people who have this, may be asymptomatic, which is why we're continuing to require the mask. And I don't know what's going to happen June 15th. We're going to continue to watch our local data to make sure that we're making the right decisions for Hattiesburg. But as we said from the beginning, this reopening is going to be measured. It's going to be data-driven. It's going to be listening to all the voices at the table. And so we appreciate so much that you have complied with all this for the most part. I know that we receive a lot of emails of people thanking us because they feel safe shopping in Hattiesburg, and we want that to continue. And I know that many times it can be an inconvenience, but it's also doing it the Hattiesburg way, which is not only looking out for yourself, but looking out for the people around you. But bottom line is, today, anything that can be opened in the city of Hattiesburg by authority of the city of Hattiesburg is now open. Anything that's not open right now is because of the governor's executive order, and we will be waiting on his guidance in terms of which direction he's going to go and how that's going to filter down to Hattiesburg. And of course, we'll communicate that with you as soon as we find out. The mask drive is still available. We received more masks today. Several thousand went out to our fire stations again. Those are at all 8 fire stations. Those are at the Forrest County EOC and the Forrest County Chancery Building. They will be available until they are gone. And I know the ones on Friday went very quickly, so I encourage you, if you need a mask, to go out and get one as soon as you can. If you have a business and you need masks, or if you need hand sanitizer, and this could be any organization or church, we can arrange for a pickup on Thursday or Friday. If you'll reach out to my office at 601-545-4501 or email mayor@hattiesburgms.com, we will get you set up to pick up on Thursday and Friday. And our Regular Act of Courage is a group of students I'm incredibly proud of. These students listed here just finished their high school degree, and they will graduate next month in a different kind of ceremony. But they also, in addition to getting their high school diploma, they also got a an associate's degree from Pearl River Community College. They were part of the first ever cohort of the Middle College Program, which is a collaboration between Hattiesburg High and PRCC. These students did a lot of work, not only on their high school studies, but also simultaneously going to PRCC's Forrest County campus and taking college-level classes too. And so they graduated at 18 years old with a high school diploma and an associate's. And we're very proud of them. We look forward to many more cohorts. Special thanks to Dr. Williams and Mr. Bonet and Jana Causey for all they did to create this successful collaboration between our high school and our community college. And as we start the work week this week, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself, wear a mask if you go out in public. Do only what is essential. Remember that you're safer at home, and I would encourage you to be kind to one another and to show courage.